How long will Bitcoin's bull market last? We can look at previous market cycles to understand better how to address this question, but at the same time, we'll also be looking at some key phases for Bitcoin in its Bitcoin halving cycle to better understand that question as well. So subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Like this video if you enjoy content like this going forward, and let's dive right into it. So in 2016, after the 2016 halving, we saw Bitcoin's bull market really prosper and develop quite nicely in parabolic fashion, as is the case in post-halving periods. This is where we tend to see parabolic upside and an uptrend to new all-time highs and beyond, until we ultimately peak in the bull market. And in the 2016 market cycle, this lasted 518 days. What's interesting is that we can essentially almost perfectly mirror this situation in the 2020 cycle as well, because after the 2020 halving, we saw Bitcoin's price action rally to new all-time highs and beyond before finally peaking at around 69k in November 2021. That was 550 days after the halving event. So almost picture perfect, almost copy paste scenario here across cycles that are 4 years apart, essentially across bull market peaks that are 4 years apart. So if we focus on the post-halving period, and we know that this upcoming April 2024 halving is scheduled in just about 2 months, not too far away at this point in the cycle. But if we were to just say that we see history repeat itself with at least a 500-day bull market peak after the halving, 518 days after the halving, repeating 2016, would be essentially getting us to a bull market peak for Bitcoin in September 2025. But if we were to see 2020 history repeat with a 550-day bull market peak, we'd see Bitcoin peak in October 2025. So what's interesting is really it just comes down to a month's difference. So just 30 days difference here between the two cycles in terms of the days where bull market peaks tend to occur. So it's only 30 days roughly speaking. But if we really want to be conservative, why not let's just remove another month, or at least half a month, so that we make it 30 or at least 500 days in total. It would get us more to August, late summer, in that respect. And that's more of a conservative way to think about things, because in a bull market, things really progress and accelerate thick and fast, and it's really difficult to understand where that top will be. Loads of people are lost in the euphoria and FOMO of this tremendous uptrend. Really difficult to control emotions at that point in a cycle, which is why it's important to keep charts like these close somewhere. Bookmark them, print them or something. But these are the charts that will really help understand that it's 500 days after the cycle, or at least the cycle's halving, where we see a bull market peak occur. And it's better to look at the particular phases for Bitcoin's price action when trying to understand how long this cycle will last. And we have 3 distinct phases. Of course, I go into these phases in a lot of detail in different videos and break these phases down into more phases, particularly the pre-halving retrace, or even the pre-halving rally and pre-halving downside period. But generally speaking, if we look at where we are in the cycle right now, we are approximately 2 months before the halving. So in 2016, we were seeing a breakout rally in Bitcoin's price action. We're really mimicking 2016 quite closely in this cycle as well, not only because we're seeing this pre-halving rally take place 2 months before the cycle, but generally speaking, the cycle's halving, of course, but generally speaking, we also in 2020 saw a pre-halving rally take place 2 months before the halving as well. So these are recurring tendencies across time that we see in every cycle. But 2024, at least 2023, is quite similar in a sense that it had a reaccumulation range, which was very similar to 2016. And of course, a pre-halving retrace that occurs around the halving event, 20% here, 40% here, and probably some percent here as well. But when we really look at the gist of things, it just comes down to 500 days after the halving event. And part of the 500 days is looking at the pre-halving retrace, which was 20% here, transitioning into your post-halving reaccumulation, which took 5.5 months approximately to break out, to really accelerate to new all-time highs. So it took many months of acceleration to new all-time highs, but we first have to break into that period. So it does take a few months for that to occur. So part of the 500 days after the halving isn't just a parabolic phase, it's also the pre-halving retrace phase. It's also the post-halving reaccumulation phase, where we just consolidate at highs before really preparing for that astronomical breakout. And this is the case across cycles in general, even in 2016, pre-halving retrace into that post-halving reaccumulation period. But this was many years ago, and so you can see that this post-halving reaccumulation period lasted 4 months approximately. So still quite close to the 5 months that we saw in the 2020 post-halving period. But 5 months here and 4 months here, maybe we should expect some 3, 4, 5 months of consolidation after the halving in this cycle as well, which just gives us an idea that 120 days approximately have to be removed from this 500-day period, because it's going to be 120 days of sideways price action, really. Not much essentially going on, but nonetheless preparing us for that really fantastic period in the cycle where the trend accelerates, the portfolios grow quite a lot during this period, and this period roughly lasts approximately over a year in any case when it comes to that parabolic phase in a cycle. And you can see that this green square here is pretty much almost copy-paste identical with this green square right over here as well. So we could see something like that happen as well in the future in this cycle, where we might see over a year of just parabolic increasing in price action towards the upside until we get that final bull market peak, which tends to occur 500 days after the halving's event. So 500 days after the halving, that's the conservative sort of estimate. And if you believe in an accelerated cycle where this cycle is progressing a little bit quicker, then stay tuned for my next video where I talk about that. But if history does repeat, we should see after summer 2025, we should see a bull market peak occur for Bitcoin. And in the meantime, still a few phases to be enjoyed. Most importantly, if we're patient enough and we just hold, we'll be able to enjoy the parabolic post-halving upside period as well. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoy videos like these going forward. Check out the top right hand corner video for more, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.